Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison and today I'm doing a kind of fun, kind of different video. I have not done a video like this before and it's actually been quite a while since I filmed anything. So I can't remember when my last video went up, but I'm pretty sure it was my quarterly book haul video. So I don't remember when that went up, but it's been a while since I actually filmed because I like to bulk film videos, so I might be a little scatterbrained today and a little not really distracted, just not like all here. So I apologize in advance if I don't make hardly any sense today. It's just what it's kind of been like this morning, and it's fine, it's good, it's great. So the video that I am doing today is actually based off a video, kind of like an idea I got from another booktuber. His name is Mike and his channel is called Mike's Book Reviews, and I discovered his channel a couple of weeks ago and I've really been enjoying watching his videos. He's funny, he is very concise when he talks about books, and he just seems like to really know what he's talking about versus me, who's just kind of over here flailing at things and not really knowing what the heck I'm even doing. So I will put the link to his channel down in the description box so you guys can check him out as well. His channel is mostly, or basically it is adult fantasy, sci-fi, and horror / thriller type stuff. So if you're not into any of those things, you're probably not gonna like his channel, but if you are into those kinds of things and you want to know more about him, you can go check his channel out via just the link in the description box. So basically what this video is a check-in kind of like video. So I have discussed starting vlogging on this channel, and I really don't know if that's something I'm going to be able to pull off, not because I can't do it, but because my first inclination when I'm doing something is not to grab my phone and record it. So I thought maybe it would be better for me to instead do weekly check-ins kind of things, like what I've been reading, what I've been up to. I don't know, we could even be as inane as what the weather is like where I'm at. So this first video is going to be like everywhere because I really don't know what the heck I want to talk about in these videos other than obviously the books I've been reading. So I thought this would just be my version of vlogging, even though it's just gonna be me sitting here not really doing anything. I'm just telling you about it, which sounds kind of lame when you talk about it that way, but it's whatever. It's good. It's gonna be all good. So I want to start off by talking about how my reading has been going, which it hasn't been that bad, honestly. Yesterday was Friday the 16th, and I managed to read a whole book. Granted, it was not a long book, it was a very short YA book, and I really enjoyed it, and I read it all in one sitting, so that was kind of fun to do. And then the other book that I finished this week was one that I actually started on the last day of March. So I was reading a whole book for 16 days, and then I finished one book in a whole day, so there's that. That's kind of sums up how my reading has been going. I'm either reading all the time or I'm not reading at all, and it's kind of stupid and I don't like it. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the one I finished first, which is this beastie, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. So this is an adult science fiction novel, and it is a standalone. I discovered it was a standalone. I was talking with my friend Brianna, and she's not quite ready to read this book yet, and we both thought it was a series for some reason, and it's actually a standalone, which is really, really nice because this book be dense. There's a lot of things going on in this book, and it's 825 pages, and I was like kind of relieved because I wasn't signing myself up for like a 4-book series that's all 800 plus pages. I was like, oh, okay, so this is all gonna get nicely like wrapped up in this one book, and it did, and it was really nice. So I ended up giving this one was so hard for me to rate. I couldn't decide between 5 stars and 4.5 stars. I ended up going with 4.5 stars because, and I think it's honestly just because of how long it took me to read it. Like I was reading it from March 31st till April 16th, which is really, really, really lame. So, or not the 16th, it was the 15th. Anyways, it took me 16 days to read this book. Granted, there were a few days that I didn't read during that 2-week time frame, but I probably would have given it 5 stars if I would have read it like in 5 days instead of, 10 more days than that. So it still got 4.5 stars, which I think is really good for a book this size and having it taken that long to read it. I don't know if I can talk about it without spoiling anything other than to say there's the main character, Kira, finds something on a planet, and basically all hell breaks loose after that. So it's very action-packed. There's really, honestly, some people are gonna think this book is very, very boring, and it's not. It's beautiful. It is so well written. I read the acknowledgments in the back, and it took Christopher about a decade to write this novel after several starts and attempts and them just not working out. Like, that's a really long time to work on one book. So you are getting a very, very much worked over story. Like, I don't know. It's just, you can tell that so much time was spent on it by when you read it because of how beautiful the writing is. And if you've read his Inheritance Cycle by the YA fantasy series that he wrote like a long time ago, that writing is also very dense, but I found there would be stretches of pages where there wasn't really anything going on and it didn't seem like the plot was moving forward, and those can be kind of boring. But in this one, even when there was like times when like things were not really going super fast, there was still stuff going on. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really good. I loved the main character, which is shocking because normally I don't, especially if it's a female main character. You can hate me for saying that, but I just really don't like most female main characters that I come across. I really don't like. I might like a female side character more or something. There's usually, my track record with main characters that are females just is not the greatest, and I really don't know why that is. They just irritate the crap out of me, especially in YA. So yeah, I loved all of the characters. There's some really great characters in this book. Let's see, the plot was good, the pacing was good. The plot was really good. There's like one overarching plot that's going on, and then there's like little plots mixed in, and it's just, I think that's what makes the story so interesting, is because you're not just following one plot line for 825 pages. You're following the main plot line, and then you're following like all these little like, oh, this happened, so now we need to go do this. That kind of thing is going on, which I think really helped the pacing and made an 825 page book to be really, really interesting. So I really recommend this book for people that love sci-fi, that like dense, beautiful writing, that like complex characters, and yeah, that's basically what I would recommend this book to. So I feel like I'm not very good at recommending books to people, but this one is just so good. I just really liked this book, like, a lot. I really did. I'm still not sure. If I ever reread this, I'll probably will read it faster, and I probably will end up giving it 5 stars instead of 4.5 stars, because that's just how good it is. Just me taking that long to read it was messing with my, like, remembering what was going on and stuff. So that's it, basically all I want to say for this book. The second book I finished this week was The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkowski. I hope I didn't murder that book or that name. This book is teeny tiny. It is like 320 some pages, I think. It's 328 pages, and it's a YA, and it's like the shorter size. Like, it's the mini size book. So it's not a big book at all. It took me 4.5 hours to read this book, I think, and I'm not a fast reader at all, so someone else could probably read it in like 2. But this book was really fun. There's, let's see, how am I gonna talk about this book? So there's a main character named Valeria, and she has a tragic past, and she's a thief, and basically that's all I want to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm the kind of person that likes to go into a book blind. Like I might want to know the main character's name and maybe the setting, but that's pretty much it. Like I don't want to know anything else. I want to just go in completely blind so I can make my own decision about stuff. So, that being said, this is set in a Russian type culture, and the author said that she drew a lot from Russian mythology, and I think also there was Slavic mythology, I think she said, and it's very interesting. I really liked the plot line. There were some really creepy parts in this book. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm not reading this at night, because this girl does not do creepy at all. I don't like creepy books at all whatsoever. It was getting me, and it was like, 3 in the afternoon, and I was like, this is too creepy. But I made it through, and I read the whole thing. And let's see, what else do I want to say about this book? It's a first book in a duology, and it just came out in March, I believe it was released. I don't know anything about, I'm not really sure what the second book is going to be about. I mean, I do know, but I can't tell you because that will spoil it. I'm not going to do that. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars, and that's just because it's YA, but I think it's a really well-written book. I really couldn't find anything wrong with it. There were a few typos, like I was reading some dialogue and there just were not quotation marks around a sentence that a character said. I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. Does this go? I don't understand. I was like, oh, it's fine. They forgot the parentheses or the quotation marks. It's whatever. And I figured it out. And there was a couple of other typos, but other than that, this book is really well written. The characters are pretty complex, and what else? The plot is interesting. It's pretty fast paced, actually. I felt like the characters were like running into a life and death situation like every 30 pages or so. Someone was almost dying, so that's pretty fun. Oh yeah, I was gonna say where it's set. So if you can't tell from the cover, it's like a mountain and everything looks frozen. So it's set in like basically what I would consider like a Siberian type climate. So it's very cold, and I don't know, it's cold, there's a plague, and someone's got to fix it. But basically that's what's got to happen in this book. So yeah, this one, it was good, it was enjoyable, it was a quick read, but it wasn't like anything like, oh my gosh, this book was so amazing. It wasn't like that at all. It was just a really fun book to read, and it took me a few hours of my Friday afternoon. So I really enjoyed it. So those are the 2 books that I read this week, and now I'm going to talk about the books I want to read next week, and hopefully you will see in my next check-in video, because I'm supposed to read these this week and then talk about them in my next video. So I know for sure the first book I'm going to read next week is going to be The Raven and the Dove by Caitlin Davis, and the reason I know that is because I'm buddy reading it with Brianna, and this is a reread for me, but she's never read it. So I'm excited to reread this book. I read it before, actually, yes, I read it before it came out because I was able to get a copy of it from NetGalley, and I absolutely love this book. It's, if you can't tell from the cover, it's avian inspired. So all of the people in this book have wings, like bird type wings, and they live in islands in the sky. So that's your setting. People with bird-like wings that live in the sky. They're not angels. They are people, and they have some kind of magic that lets them bond with birds, and they have wings. So they're actually, when they're born without wings. I thought that was very interesting. And this is the first book in a 4-book series, and the second one is already out. That one is called The Hunter and the Mage. The second book is called The Hunter and the Mage, and the third book that will be released in June is called The Dragon and the Queen. And then the 4th book I think is coming out in September sometime this year, so like that's really, really fast. That is the one thing I do like about self-published novels, is they come out way faster than like traditionally published books, which is, it's great. I love that people have fought their way into traditional publishing. It doesn't sound like it's anything easy to do, but independently published novels come out a lot faster than traditionally published books do. So, what else do I want to say about this? Oh, this book, since this is a reread for me, I can kind of talk about it. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but this book has forbidden love trope in it. It also is YA, and it has... Oh, and I know it's a Tristan and Isolde retelling, and I don't know anything about that story at all whatsoever, and I would like to keep it that way because I don't want to be reading this book and constantly be making comparisons between the mythology and the story, just because I don't want to. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Tristan and Isolde thing, and I really don't want to know, I guess. Anyways, the first time I read this book, I really enjoyed it. I was very pleasantly surprised by it, and it's pretty fast-paced. It's pretty action-packed. I don't know. I think that's all I really have to say about it. Obviously, I'll have more to say about it, you know, at the end of the week when I've actually finished it. So this is going to be book number 1 for next week. Book number 2 is going to be The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. So I have pretty much had this book on every single TBR since I got it in like September last year. And I don't know why I haven't read it yet, because it's a standalone. It's very short. It is, let's see. It's 393 pages long. It's YA. I think I already said that. But look at how big the words are. Can you see that? The words are huge. So it would not take me very long to read it. And from what I understand, it's a story about gangster booksellers. Like, who even comes up with this stuff? So I think it would be a very fast-paced, very fun, a funny book. The last book I read by Garth Nix was called Angel Mage, and it was a Three Musketeers retelling, and it was funny. Like, it was quirky funny. The characters were they would say something and I'm like, what? That doesn't even, but it was like humor in a way that I don't normally encounter in books. So I really liked that book. In this one, I'm assuming is not going to be any different. This one is set in an alternate London, and I mean, gangster booksellers. Like, look at the cover right here. Can you see that? That's a gun, and that's a knife sword thing. Listen to me, I'm so cultured. Like, how would you not want to read this book? How would you not want to read a book about gangster booksellers? That's just all I want to know. That's all I want to know. So I am going to read this book. It will get read because I'm tired of putting it on my TBR and then just not making time for it. So those are going to be the 2 books that I'm probably going to get through next week. Obviously the one because it's a buddy read and I usually read those faster, and then this one because it has big words and it's easy to read. The next book I'm going to talk about is one that I have been ongoingly reading. Is that even a word? Is ongoingly a word? And it's The Fellowship of the Ring. So I have started this book a while ago. I think in March I started this book, and I just never made myself finish it. This will be my 3rd time reading this book, and I made it to here. I am almost halfway through it, and I'm really not sure why I don't pick it up. I absolutely love the story. When I do pick it up and read it, I just fly through a chapter. It's not that hard to read for me. I mean, after reading it 3 times, it's not really that hard to read anymore, and I'm really used to Tolkien's writing now. So I have not given up on it. I was supposed to finish this book and read The Two Towers this month, and I don't know if that's going to happen. But what I really need to do is just stick to my reading 2 chapters a day, and then I would get through it pretty quick. I just, of course, haven't been making time for it. So I have not given up on it. I am going to finish it. I would love to at least finish The Fellowship of the Ring this month. If I don't get to The Two Towers, I'm not going to cry about it. But I don't like having a book in progress for longer than a month. So since I started it in March, I really need to read this book in April. So that is basically it for my reading plans for the next week. Let's see, what else was I going to talk about in this? I was supposed to share with you guys some YouTube videos that I've been enjoying watching, but I haven't really been watching any YouTube videos lately because I've been so busy. I think I've mentioned before that I do homeschool my kids, and we have an 8-year-old who is almost in second grade now, and a 4-year-old, he's 4.5, he'll be 5 in August, who is going to be starting kindergarten in a few weeks. So, because I'm homeschooled, I get to pick when my kids start school. So, we have been working through a curriculum that I thought was amazing when I first got it, and it's just been nothing but a nightmare for all of us. It's just very frustrating, and we have recently switched curriculums. So right now we're working on finishing out. Sorry, my skin is all itchy because I took a shower a little bit ago, so my skin's all dried out and itchy. We are almost done with our current year, so I know it's only April and most kids go until, I don't know, May or whatever. I don't know what the public school system does, but we will be done with our course books in the next couple of weeks, which we're all really excited about because we're just ready to move on. And we'll be starting a new curriculum, so we're basically gonna be done by the end of April with the current curriculum we're using, and then we're gonna take a couple of weeks off to, like, you know, have some fun, not have to sit down at the table for X amount of hours a day, and just let the kids play outside and have some fun. Hopefully it will be warmer then when that occurs, because it's been really cold lately. I think today it's only supposed to be like 50-some degrees outside, so that kind of sucks. And then we'll start back up probably the second week of May. So we will be starting our 3rd year of homeschooling. But so basically all of that is just to say that my kids will be doing school during the summer. We will be working through May and June, and we will be taking a break in July because that's when it's the hottest here. And I figured okay, that's not when it's the hottest. It's actually hotter in August, but we will be taking a break in July because I know the kids are just not gonna want to sit at the table. I guess if they want to do school, we could just do something fun like a science experiment or whatever, but we're not gonna like sit down at the table for 3 hours and go through all of our stuff because no one wants to do that when the sun is shining and it's beautiful outside. So I have no idea if you guys are even remotely interested in hearing about our homeschooling. I can't really think of anything else that we're doing. Like, I don't know, my kids do jujitsu and they're adorable, and I just stay home. Like, I am a homebody. I love to not go anywhere. I love to stay home and create things and film videos and read books, and I also like to play Animal Crossing. Actually, I have my Switch right here. I have my Nintendo Switch that I play Animal Crossing on, and I'm not very good at it at all. Like, I don't know how to decorate islands or make my house look pretty or anything like that, so that's kind of fun. But I do enjoy playing the game. It's fun to just relax and do that. So that's really all I've been doing. I really haven't been doing that much. I've been teaching my kids, been taking care of my house, been reading books, and been playing Animal Crossing, and sometimes watching YouTube videos. That's basically all I do. So I don't know. You guys need to let me know if you like this style of video, if in these videos you just want to see me talk about books and not like my life, and then maybe I could try vlogging. I think that's probably just something that I'm going to have to make into a habit, like to just grab my camera and be like, okay, I'm just gonna vlog this little bit of my life or whatever. Because I really like watching people's vlogs. I think it's fun to see what people do in their ordinary day-to-day, and it's just interesting to see different ways that people live. So let me know your thoughts on the vlogging / reading check-in thing. The reason I don't vlog, so if I did do vlogs, I would not include reading in those vlogs, just because when I'm reading, it's usually at night and my kids are sleeping, and our bedrooms are very close together, so I can't just like get out my phone and just start talking to this camera about how awful I think this book is or how awesome I think this book is. because it's just not practical. Like, I'm gonna wake them up, or I'm gonna have to whisper and you guys won't be able to hear me. So that's just a bad situation. So if I did vlog, it probably would not involve reading really, unless I had a chance during the day where I could, like if the boys are outside playing, I could just do a little bit of vlogging about reading, but for the most part it's not going to have very much reading in it, other than me being like, so this is what I didn't read today and this is what I did read today. So basically that. Anyways, I am rambling. I need to stop talking. You guys can just let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are, and I also would love to see this conversation about these books continue in the comments, like if you've read any of them, if you plan to read any of them, what you thought about them if you have read them. I am curious to know. I love to know all things about the books. So let me know those things in the comments, and I hope I will see you guys in another video. Bye!